Okay, so I'm going to combine my day trips to Siena, San Gimignano, Arezzo, and Cortona. Those were two different day trips. One was on the same weekend as the weekend I went to Venice, and the other one was the following weekend. So first we went to Siena, and it's a really pretty famous city in Tuscany in Italy. And a lot of people had said a lot of good things about it, but all four of these places are really quite small. They're just kind of small Tuscan villages and cities and stuff like that. And these were all day trips with my program ISA, so they were like provided as part of my program with transportation and everything like that. So when we arrived in Siena, we had a walking tour, and it's a really cool city. It's got this like horse race thing that it's really famous for. Every year, it happens twice a year in the summer, and it's in this little piazza called El Campo, or whatever. And it's got a huge clock tower. It's like kind of the trademarks image of Siena, and it's really funny because I just learned that's why the crayon burnt sienna is called burnt sienna, because it's like the whole city is that color. It's kind of this brown whatever. So I was like, oh, now that makes more sense. Childhood mind blown. So anyway, we did this nice little walking tour. Our guide was nice. We got to see this little museum with a lot of the little uniforms and stuff that the jockeys wear, and they have a super gorgeous cathedral in Siena, because pretty much every city in Italy has some kind of gorgeous church, if not multiple of them. But really, at all four of these places, it was really just kind of a relaxed day, kind of like our day trip to Assisi. Like, these are small cities, there's not a whole lot to see, so you kind of just do your little walking tour, walk around the city, hang out with friends, and try and eat some food. So it was kind of rainy, and we finished up our walking tour and ended up in the El Campo Piazza. And it's really small, so it's kind of crazy that they like literally race horses and they cram like thousands of people every year in there, because it's like a tradition that's been going for a million years. But so it's something interesting to see. Anyway, so there's this type of pasta called pici, and it's kind of a Siena thing, and I always try and get like the whatever city's thing is whenever I go and visit them. So I asked the guide what Siena was, and that's what she said. So we went to lunch, and I got pici pasta, and it's like this thick spaghetti, and it's really good. And then I started seeing it pop up all over the place. I guess they make it throughout Tuscany, but it was like originally made in Siena. Also, there was this big flea market outside our restaurant, so it was kind of cool. So we just kind of shopped around in that antiques kind of flea market for a while, because we just kind of had time to kill. Yeah, like I said, it was just really relaxed. It's just they're just such pretty cities. They're just got fall foliage and trees, and it's very calm. It's not as like hustle bustle as like Rome or Florence or like bigger cities, because these are just like smaller, tucked away up in the hills of Tuscany and stuff like that. So I ended up buying a little pair of earrings from one of these little vendors at the flea market, but otherwise we just kind of scoped things out, and then we got back on the bus and rode to San Gimignano, which is another little village, and it's much smaller. And we were running out of time because the sun sets at like 4:30 now, and so it gets dark so early. So we only had about an hour there, and what they're famous for is they have a gelato shop that's won like world's best gelato like several years in a row. So we got the world's best gelato, and I have to say it was probably one of the best, if not the best gelato that I've had since I've been in Italy, so props to them. I got like kind of a hazelnut chocolate flavor that was really good, and then this like kind of marmalade berries thing, I don't know. Yeah, both were delicious, and it had this great view over like kind of vineyard areas. Tuscany is just full of like vineyardy cities that are just super pretty. So we kind of took some pictures, watched sunset over that, and then ate our gelato. And in San Gimignano, there's these two towers that like the Twin Towers were based off of, or something interesting. Someone said. We didn't have a tour there, so we just kind of checked the city out, and it was pretty short. We were only there for a little bit. Then the next weekend, we went to Arezzo and Cortona. Arezzo is very similar to Florence, I'd say, just like on a much smaller scale. But it looks really similar. Like, we got off the bus and we were like, did we just drive for 20 minutes to outskirts of Florence or something? And actually, OU's study abroad program in Italy, almost all their students go through Arezzo because they have some building there or something. So I know a lot of friends that either have studied there or are going to study there. So if you're wondering, if you're watching, not. Arezzo's super nice. It's not far at all from Florence. Quick, easy train ride. There's a station right there. and yeah, it's like about an hour outside of Florence, so probably not that long of a train ride. And it's just it's a really nice vibe. It's where they filmed the movie Life is Beautiful, so there's a lot of little signs up around the city. It was like, here's where this scene was filmed, here's where this scene was filmed. And they have a lot of really pretty churches again, and they're known for their Chianina beef. It's like what the steak of Fiorentina is made of, and it's just this like really high quality like Tuscan cow beef thing. So we went to this little kind of fast food restaurant and got a burger that was like made from that beef, and it was really good and had really good fries and everything. And they also just happened to be having a chocolate festival thing going on, so since I did not buy chocolate in Belgium, I felt I was allowed to indulge a little bit, and so I bought some chocolate, and everyone I was with bought chocolate too because it was like super irresistible and super good. So I got some like coconut bark and almond bark, both delicious. Then they have this cremina stuff that's like kind of like fudge but a little bit different, and it comes in all different flavors, but I got a coconut one and like a kind of its original flavor, but it's like kind of like a, they love hazelnut and chocolate stuff here. They invented Nutella in Italy, if you didn't know that. I thought it was invented in France, but my Italian teacher was very defensive about that. It was invented in Italy. And good thing they invented it because it's delicious. So chocolate and hazelnut pair really well, and they have a lot of stuff here like that. And then I got some other I got a truffle and a little rice chocolate thing. I don't even know. So yeah. Then we were all just munching on that on the bus to the next city, and then we arrived in Cortona, and it was the same situation. We had a pretty brief time there. We only got to stay there for about an hour and a half, and they had another little kind of flea market, so we were all kind of looking in there, but I didn't buy anything. It's really cool to see all the different like jewelry and antiques and stuff like that they sell. It's the weird sound my heater makes, which it's now on, which is nice. Also, I hope you're enjoying my wannabe Burberry scarf that I got for €1 at the market. Anyway, so in Cortona we really just kind of savored the sunset. It was a really beautiful sunset. It was so like Tuscan. Everything was just like golden, and they had a really great landscape view from, they were kind of on like a cliff edge type of thing. And so we took a bunch of pictures and just, you know, enjoyed the peacefulness of the Tuscan setting, and then headed back to Florence. So all four places were really like just kind of laid back, but I think it would have been really fun to go to do like a bed and breakfast weekend or something up in one of those cities, because it's like they're all just really nice. Yeah, I would highly recommend visiting them because they're not far from Florence. They're all like 30 to 45 minutes, an hour at most. Little day trips, side trips you could easily make if you're ever traveling just to the Italy, Florence, Tuscan region. They're all really nice cities. Yeah, I had a really good time. Yeah, that's all.